Anchor launches video podcasts, the latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Spotify's Anchor has rolled out proprietary video podcasts to all Anchor users in the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia and the UK. Paid subscriptions will be available for those shows too, and Anchor has integrated with Riverside to streamline the production of video podcasts. Anchor has posted more details, and we also link to Anchor's FAQs and have a bunch of technical details in our show notes and our newsletter at podnews.net. A new company called SoundStack was launched yesterday. It combines Media Creek, Empire Streaming, Abovecast, Audio Reach, Live 365 and Audio Catapult, and offers a solution that seamlessly integrates and automates streaming, podcasting and monetization for audio in one platform. Co-founder John Stevenson has posted more details. Live 365 and internet radio products continues to operate separately. Triton Digital has released the US podcast report for March. SXM Media remains number one for podcasts, ahead of NPR, who move up to number 2. Total US downloads and users for the top 5 publishers dipped slightly. The ranker measures participating publishers only. iHeartMedia-owned Triton Digital doesn't measure iHeartMedia. Libsyn's Rob Greenlee will be at the NAB show in Las Vegas. He'll be speaking about podcast advertising and taking part in live editions of the New Media Show. Meanwhile, Radiotopia from PRX will be at the Tribeca Festival in New York City, according to the Podcast Network. iHeartMedia and Seneca Women, a global women's leadership platform, have launched the Seneca Women Podcast Academy, which will train the winners from Seneca Women to Hear, an initiative that launched last month. We link to the winners today. A UK podcast studio, Novel, has signed with UTA, aiming for growth in the US. The company has also made a number of signings. The Charlatan looks at podcasts from Ottawa in Canada. Podin seems to have some good reviews in podcast discussion groups. It's an AI-powered transcription service which launched in February and has recently added an import function directly from your RSS feed. And congratulations to Kevin Goldberg, who sold a majority stake in Discover Pods. James J. Griffin is to run the site from here on in. In People News, Austin Mitchell has been hired as creative director at Novel. He was senior audio producer at the New York Times, making The Daily, and was previously at Gimlet. And Mithili Rao is now managing editor at Novel. She was with The Guardian and WNYC. Novel hired Indira Burney as head of marketing in mid-February. And in podcast news, described as a delightful audio expression of our obsession with powerful families, Dynasty by Vanity Fair is new today. It's part of a special issue out on April the 26th, and it's a deep dive into the Windsor family. Vocal is a new podcast from Sounder that interviews independent creators about how they went from launch to large streams. While there's a lot of advice out there about how to podcast, each episode of Vocal goes directly to the source, they say. The first episode features Dr. Stephen Bradley, host of the Black Doctors podcast. And Tori Dunlap's Financial Feminist podcast has been signed to Ad Large in a deal brokered by UTA. The new season of the podcast launched yesterday. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.
After a record-breaking first season, Financial Feminist is back. We've had some incredible guests in season 1.
Pretty hard to believe, but if you believe it, you'll believe this. You can become a millionaire selling perfumed soaps, you know?
Right. And the mission of financial feminism became a global movement, spanning over 130 countries, topping the podcast charts, and features in Entrepreneur, Time Magazine, and the Wall Street Journal. And after months of y'all pounding on our doors, asking for more patriarchy-fighting, wealth-building advice, we're so excited to welcome you back. This spring, Financial Feminist moves to a weekly, yes, weekly, show. We're rolling out a whole new format, bringing you weekly episodes until, well, we need a break or Timothée Chalamet proposes marriage. We have some seriously incredible guests this season, and we're diving into topics like mental health, toxic masculinity, sex work, the cost of fame, socially responsible investing, and so much more. Seriously, y'all are not ready for what we're cooking. Talk to you soon.
Whenever you see a royal story in the media, you have to ask yourself, why is it there? Who briefed it? Who comes out of it well? Who comes out of it badly?
It's an institution that is quite abusive to the individuals at its heart. It has to be, because it's requiring them to all behave not like human beings in order to fulfill this bigger ceremonial constitutional role.
The thing is, you can only do that so much, and you can only be the nice person for so long. It's going to come out at some point.
From Vanity Fair, this is Dynasty,
a new podcast dedicated to revealing the shocking behavior, devastating rifts, secret alliances, epic romances, and complicated dynamics that shape the most influential families in the world today.
And we're starting with the British royal family, the Windsors.
I'm Katie Nichol, Vanity Fair's Royals correspondent.
And I'm Vanity Fair staff writer Erin Vanderhoof.
Through exclusive new interviews, signature Vanity Fair storytelling, and a deep dive into our own archives, we're taking you inside the House of Windsor. From the early years of the Queen's reign through to the modern-day scandals, William and Harry's rift, and why the future of the monarchy is under more scrutiny than ever.
The Queen has lots of symbolic power, but in terms of real power, she has next to none.
I mean, I wouldn't wish growing up as a child and being called the spare on anyone. You know, I think that is quite damaging.
She was blamed a lot for almost like classic misogyny. I think perhaps it was kind of mutual. I think to me it very much seems like it could be a Harry-led decision as much as it is hers.
Join us as we address how Meghan Markle's unique global power challenges the precedent set by the British royal family, the ways in which the royal institution failed Harry and William, Prince Andrew's shameful scandal, just what's next for the monarchy, and so much more.
On the eve of a new reign, the monarchy is being forced to take a long, hard look at itself. Will King Charles III be the monarch to reshape the House of Windsor for the future in an increasingly sceptical world? And is the monarchy prepared for what that could mean?
This is Dynasty. Listen and subscribe at vanityfair.com/dynasty or wherever you get your podcasts.